Hello, everyone. I'd rather be prepared and late than unprepared and on time. Now, with that said, I forgot to post the stream was live on Instagram, so I'm going to do that really quick. I forgot to tweet it out, too. It's because I had to get so many of my notes in order for this stream because there was a topic that I wish I had brought up in the Pearl video that I didn't bring up. And I have to make this a shorter stream because because I have to go on MK Ultra's stream, which I'll link to you guys. Actually, I don't think it's a live stream. I think he's pre-recording it this time, so you guys will see when it's uploaded. But it's the guy who runs Women Posting L's. And we do a podcast, and it's very, like, edgy humor. There's nothing I could do about the audio. Like, I have everything on max, so I don't know why the audio is low other than the fact that, like, I have to scream into the mic, which I'm not gonna do. Like, this is the best I can do, basically. I don't know why it's low. I have to check my setup later. But anyway, I'll be on that after this, so I can only stream for 2 hours maximum. But anyway, let me post that I'm live on Twitter really quick. I hate how YouTube made it that, like, you can't go to your YouTube studio from just, like, clicking the thing from your profile picture anymore. They make you click some other button, and it trips me up still. Excuse me. I drank water. Regular water. Not princess water. If I drink princess water, it'd be worse than that. Let me just quote tweet and be like, I'm live. I actually don't know the meta for Twitter, like, if posting with the link deranks it when it gets promoted on timelines or what. I'll just quote tweet it. Or if, like, quote tweeting a link, like, does that count as, like, it getting deranked? I don't know how X's ran in that way. Okay, well, if it's low, turn your volume up, because that's all I can do at the moment. Because the software that comes with this mic, it's, like, it's kind of glitching out since I moved, so that's kind of the issue. I don't know, maybe there's something in my settings I can do. But this is, like, the best that I can do right now. Yeah, it's at 100. Anyway, thank you, Trent Roberts, for the $6.99 super chat. Hey, Brittany, will you ever make more videos about leftist YouTubers, RedTubers? Maybe. It's really hot in here. Hold on. Texas weather is so psychotic. It's like really, it's hot during the day. It's not scorching hot, but it's hot during the day enough to where you, like, need AC, but then at night you need the heat. So, like, as the sun's going down, it's very psychotic, and now I'm, like, dying of heat. But yeah, I actually have some video ideas I want to do, but I don't know when I'll get to, like, another, like, bread tube type of channel. 2 pounds from channel Vicenzo. My allergies are acting up. Ignore my, like, voice. Women trying to take down women posting L's is an L. I mean, like, honestly, I know James, and he's, like, he actually treats his wife very nicely. So, like, it's actually pretty funny that women get really mad over a lot of his posts. Like, I'm not saying he's perfect, but, like, for the most part, it's just, like, a sense of humor about it. It's like, yes, both genders can be stupid at times, but that's my bias, because I know him, and I know he's not, like an Andrew Tate type. Like, they literally clown on him in the group chat. Like, anyway. Am I homophobic? I'm not scared of my home. I'm right here. Thank you. Let me post it on live on Instagram and then we'll get started. Like, imagine someone asks you, like, are you racist? And you're like, yes. Like, are you homophobic? Yes. Like, that's like such a pointless, funny question. Okay. I'm posting it. There we go. So, where do we begin? Okay, so I want to go over some of the comments I got on the video that I made. And I'm going to go over a few of them right here. This one says, you of all people shouldn't be calling anyone creepy. Look at 947. You are way creepier to look at, and I don't even like Pearl. Like him with the coping mask on. I don't even like Pearl. Pearl fan. Okay. In any case, this person's saying that I look creepy, so therefore I can't comment on how she's creepy. First off, her personality in regard to children is creepy. We went over that somewhat in the video. I have more to show today. But also, it's her style choice and presentation that do it. It's a choice on her end. And furthermore, saying that I look creepy to look at, that's okay. I look creepy in the sense that I look like I'll suck your soul out of your body, okay? She looks creepy in the sense of she might do something to your kid creepy, okay? Like, look at this. My computer's lagging a little bit, but look at this. Like, this is I wouldn't leave my children around her creepy. Okay, so don't go putting us in the same bucket just because I look like I can suck the soul out of your body. That's not fair. We're two different types of creepy. Bleep's gonna bleep. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you for going in on the Red Pill cult. Used to be a normal group of men. It turned non-stop cringe parade. You know what's interesting? You know what I feel like changed it? There were always these people in this cult, but I think it became louder. Those people within that cult became louder and became more cult-like. Was after Fresh and Fit. I feel like once the normies got in there, like that's really when it got bad. Because I've been aware of that sect of the internet for a while. It's been around for a long time. Also, wondered if you watched Gavin McGinnis. He raves about you. I don't have like a subscription to Compound. Okay, let's go to the next comment. But I didn't know he raved about me. Pearl's voice sounds exactly like Courage the Cowardly Dog. This one made me laugh because she literally does sound like that. Like, woo, 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 woo. Like, you guys, I don't know if you guys all grew up with Courage, but I did. That was my favorite cartoon outside of like Powerpuff Girls. Like, if we're not including Inuyasha, we're not including like Powerpuff Girls, this was like one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Like, how can I play this without getting copyright? I just want to play it for a second. Right here.
Muriel, are you okay? Oh!
Modern women? Ah!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! Putting on makeup!
Oh, no, not that!
Oh, Return to the Sloth. Such an iconic, scary episode. That one scared me as a kid, too. That spooked me. Another good one is Grim and Billy and Mandy. I like that one. I kind of want to rewatch that one. I haven't made time to, like, rewatch like adult friendly cartoons that I didn't get as a kid, because there's some things they used to put in children's cartoons as when I was younger that adults would get, but I didn't get as a kid. And I see that now every so often as an adult. I'm like, oh, it has rewatch value. Okay, I have another comment here. Excuse my slow computer. It has like 3 different hard drives and they're all full, so my computer's kind of laggy. She said that she said that women that need the gym don't make good wives, but then shits on obese women. Yeah, like, they're such whales. What? No wonder she has a gorilla physique and posture when she believes she doesn't need the gym. And I doubt she is, because, like I said, the micro reflects the macro, generally speaking. And we already went over this in another video, how she has a sugar addiction that she tweeted about a bunch of times. Like, yeah, that explains a lot. Like, you're definitely... I don't know her personally, so I can't say definitely, but in my opinion, you're not going to the gym. There's no way, like, you really are that health conscious, because it shows. You're not into fitness or health, and it shows. So, yeah, it's like this weird conundrum of, like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. As a woman in her philosophy, you can't really win. Like, it goes from, oh, women, the modern woman lets themselves go when they get married, and that's why they're all leaving the country. And then, like, if women that are 30 and above take care of themselves, it's, why aren't you looking like shit and giving everything to your kid and not taking care of yourself? Why would you need to do that if you're already married? And I can give an example of that, of what I mean. This is why I have to organize before the stream. I can't pull up every receipt because it's a live stream, but I do the best I can. I heard married wives and mothers are getting Botox when he's already married to you. What more? She's seething. What more do you need? Spend that money on your children. Like, and it's any ounce of self-care. If an older woman dares to do any sort of self-care, unlike Pearl, then she's a bad mother. Like, I literally saw a tweet. I don't have this one to pull up because I'm blocked and I don't feel like logging in my alt, but I literally saw a tweet from her. Search it for yourselves if you want to see it, where she's like, should modern women get babysitters? Or is it basically like, if you call a babysitter more than once, you're a bad mom? And it's these ridiculous standards that she herself doesn't abide by, and it's why we make fun of it. It's why we laugh about it. People are like, why are you criticizing her? How dare you? She's above criticism for some reason. And it's like, there's a lot of reasons. For one, it's funny. For two, I'm making good points. And those points are, not only is she a hypocrite in influencing people in a bad direction, both females and males, but she also is trending now toward very dangerous territory. And what I mean by that is her creepy behaviors toward children. Botox opposite of self-care. That's not necessarily true, but I'll get into what I feel like the solutions would be and why later on. But first, I just want to pull up her creepy tweets as a little refresher here, so we know what I'm talking about for those of us who haven't, you know, caught up on the Pearl saga. But you guys know I always do like a follow-up video, or most of the time I do a follow-up video to follow-up stream to the videos I do. So, the classic 16-year-old chicks are hotter than 26-year-old chicks tweet. And then there's one here that I didn't go over. It's an older tweet from a few months ago. It's from this year. And it says, others are saying it's okay he screwed a 9-year-old because it was a different time. Okay, I could get maybe 13 or 12, but 9? And, you know, at first glance, when you read it, you're like, oh, yeah, like, you get the common sense reaction, right? Of, like, oh, yeah, being attracted to 9-year-olds is weird and bad and creepy and morally wrong, right? But then you take a second look, and you're like, wait, is she justifying 13 and 12-year-olds? And then being attracted to that, and, like, she could understand. What do you mean you could get it? What do you mean you could get it at 12 years old, Pearl? And people are like, why are you talking about Pearl? How dare you make fun of her? Why you're just obsessed? It's not why is talking about children's welfare an obsession? Why does that get called an obsession if I talk about this? So you know who the people are saying this, the whole like you're obsessed thing, because like any other topic, it's not you're obsessed. You can make a million videos, but if it's Pearl, then you're obsessed. So I think that this is worth talking about because it's very creepy. It's very creepy. Thank you for the $50 cbdx.com. Would Pearl's hair be less greasy if she tried our THC gummies? Maybe. Who knows? Worth a try. I feel like that'd make her like more relaxed maybe. Oh geez, my computer cannot handle all these windows right now when I'm streaming. So here's another tweet that I wanted to bring up. I just cleaned my computer too. I know that doesn't affect the memory, but still. So there are these tweets. So this is why I was saying on Twitter, wow, my video is already aging well. I saw these tweets, and there might be more than this. I didn't really have time to update myself past that. So it's going to be unfortunate if I miss something. If I did, tweet it at me. She has me blocked because she can't take criticism, which we went over in prior videos. It's not just me and I'm so annoying. It's like she generally does not handle criticism and really doesn't have strong arguments in general. So anyway, we have some new tweets right after the video, or like right when I was releasing it. And it says, so why are 16-year-old women not responsible for who they sleep with? You know, and as we're going down the line here, it's just getting creepier and creepier if you actually look at this in context of some of the other tweets she makes. Like, for example, was he really abusive, or did you bring the abuse out of him? And avoid women that talk about boundaries. Just trust me on this. And guess who wouldn't have boundaries, guys? 16-year-olds. That's right, children. So, you know, use your brain and put it together. You can kind of figure out where she's coming from and what she's promoting. So she generally is pushing this philosophy, this cult philosophy of endangering children. And it's not just her words, it's also done through her actions with the interview incident that I went over in the video, with her asking weird sexual questions to high school girls and the sister asking her to take it down and she wouldn't. And also with these tweets and about abuse and not having boundaries. That's why I call her Predatory Pearl. That's why. And that's why I'm talking about it. I think it's a pretty important topic. Let me show you guys something. I saw this tweet the other day that reminded me of her. Says, so it's a picture of J-Lo, and it says, you will never guess who's in the pic they're replying to. Okay, I'm going to show you the pic they were replying to. This one. So, literally, the first picture says, J-Lo is far more beautiful than her. And it's literally in response to a toddler. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's toddler. This is literally Pearl. Like, she would be like, 6-year-olds are hotter. 6-month-year-olds are hotter than however old J-Lo is. 50-year-olds. That's literally her. She's this person responding, saying, like, J-Lo is far more beautiful than her. That would literally be her. It's that same energy. And it's very creepy. So I think I'm in the right by saying she's creepy. And you know what? If you're not going to draw the line at protecting children, if you're not going to draw the line at her weird abuse tweets and sexualizing kids to her adult male audience, I don't know what to tell you. You obviously want to see society fail and disintegrate into nothing, because that's what's going to happen when you start making the world an unsafe place for kids. Your society is pretty much going to collapse. So thank you for the $9.99, Steph. Pearl talks badly about women, so men will see her as a better choice. Yeah, it's women suck, but I'm better than women, so pick me. Like, that's kind of the philosophy there. And it's almost like she views... It's interesting how she views her competition, right? If you look at the age groups and how she talks about them. And doesn't want married women to be attractive, so she doesn't have to try physically. Oh, yeah, for sure. There's a lack of effort there. And it's kind of like this loser mentality. And I hate to see it. And the reason it pisses me off to see it is because I have a lot of things that are hard to work with, okay? I have like these slanty skin, eyelid droopy, like hooded eyes that are tiny. They're impossible to work with makeup, okay? There were no tutorials out there how to do makeup on wide set almond hooded eyes. It basically doesn't exist, okay? Especially years ago. And I learned how to do my makeup as an adult, like late as an adult, okay? She's older than me, okay? Or at least she looks it. With her lack of skincare. And that's really what it is. It's not genetics, guys. It's the lack of skincare. And like skincare, it also includes like her health. So meaning like she's probably not really caring about her health. She's probably not eating the best foods that could help her skin. She's probably not using vitamin A, tretinoin. She's probably lacking a lot of these feminine self-care things. And I call it feminine self-care, but really it's just self-care. Men can do these things too and not choose to be ugly, but a lot of them don't, unfortunately, which is why the average woman tends to be more attractive than the average guy. Excuse me. But yes, I do have hooded eyes. Like, you can literally see the gap right there when I blink from the eyeliner. It's called hooded eyes. And your eyes don't literally have to be like no eyelid to have hooded eyes. Like, what is this? This is like the curly hair thing I see online. Like, if you have curly hair and people like, no, you don't. It's like a curly hair cult. Like, no, you don't. That's not curly hair. I mean, like, sometimes they're right, but other times it's like, calm the fuck down. Same thing with hooded eyes. It's like, your eyes are hooded. But anyway. So, yeah, there's lack of effort, lack of self-care. And it's interesting. It's an interesting case, but it's also sad because a lot of people agree with her on these things. So when you go and say, I agree with Pearl, like, you need to start saying what those things are, because I'm going to start assuming it's about the 16-year-olds or 126-year-olds and how you shouldn't have boundaries and how you brought the abuse out of him. That's what I'm going to start assuming if you don't start specifying what the one or two things are that you agree with her on. And also with the whole, like, 16-year-olds are supposedly more attractive than 26-year-olds. I find it creepy because generally speaking, 16-year-olds look 16. Like, they don't typically look like, they might look like they could pass for 18, things like that. Like call it like close, like a close call. Some of them, sure. But generally, they do look like they're 16, right? So for you to say that you particularly like the look of an adolescent child is already creepy enough within itself. But even if you want to say the argument, oh, but they can look like they're 18, you know, I'm going to pull this up because it's very relevant to what I'm talking about and how she's influencing people. Okay, this is Tim Pool talking about Pearl. And it's about the tweet that we're referencing. And the comment says, she's not wrong. As in, she's not wrong that 16-year-olds are more attractive than 26-year-olds. And it has 72 likes. Okay? 11 replies. It didn't even get ratioed. So people are agreeing with this. So like I said, you better start specifying what the one or two things are that you agree with her on or whatever. Or I agree with some of the things she says. You better start saying what those things are, because it's not looking good. And my other point I want to make about this, about the whole, like, it's very predatory. If you are exclusively saying that I am attracted to 16 year, like, it's very predatory. And I'm holding Pearl to the same standard that I will hold a man to. Because if a man were saying the things that Pearl does and doing the things that Pearl does, I would 100% call it out and say that they're being predatory. So I'm going to be fair here and consistent in saying that she's very predatory and she is inspiring other people. Okay, Tim has a big platform, okay? She's inspiring people in his audience that are agreeing with this, with 72 likes, saying that 16-year-olds are hotter than 26-year-olds. You know what that would be like? Not only is it predatory to exclusively be like, yes, I am seeking out children. I'm seeking out minors. But additionally, let me put it to you like this. Yes, there are some 16-year-olds that could pass as an adult. And I don't care about, don't say magic soil. I don't care about the age of consent. It's still creepy. I don't believe in magic soil. It literally makes no sense. It does not change the morality of things. Anyway, so let's say you have a 16-year-old, right? And even if they pass as an 18-year-old, so to speak, like they look like they could be 18 or whatever. If I showed you guys a photo of a really attractive woman, okay, let's say Adriana Lima, because you guys know that I love her face. I think she's literally like one of the most beautiful women in the world, and I loved her since I was like 14 years old, and I didn't even know like all this other like base stuff about her. I just knew that she was like really beautiful, and I was just naturally like drawn to her. Like I used to get back in the day, we used to get these catalogs in Victoria's Secret. And, like, I didn't notice any other models. I just noticed her. But let's say Adriana Lima, because most people agree, like, she is absolutely stunning. Internationally known as, like, a 10 out of 10, right? Now, let's say, obviously she's older than 16 here. But let's say, in my example, I show you her and I'm like, yeah, so do you think she's hot? And, of course, you're going to be like, yeah, she's really attractive, right? Like, if you're just basing on the photo and nothing else. But then I tell you she has a huge cock. Do you still think she's attractive? Is your pee-pee still hard now? It shouldn't be if you're straight. So with that same logic, if I tell you that this woman is a child, like this is mentally a child, that this is a 14-year-old, your pee-pee should go and suck right back into you. That should turn you off. That they have the mentality of a child, that they have no boundaries, they have no actual world concept in how things work. They don't really have developed opinions. You have nothing in common with them. That should turn you off. So if you wouldn't be attracted to her with a penis, with a huge dick, why would you be attracted to her if I told you her mind's literally like a child? So I don't care for this argument of like, oh, but they can look adult. Okay, that argument's so stupid, and you're outing yourself as a predator right then and there. You want to know how I know? Because in America, I know this isn't necessarily the case in places like maybe like Korea or Japan, but in America, girls get their period at 9, 10 years old. Girls here have tits and ass at 9, 10, 11 years old. But so would you also argue the same thing that, oh, well, because they have their period, because they hit puberty, because they have tits and ass, it's now okay? That doesn't make them any more developmentally advanced. They're still children. So what is this argument of like, oh, they have tits, so they're not a child? Yes, 10-year-olds have tits in America. I don't know what it is, if it's in the milk, the hormones, what it is, but in America, and it's a very big country with many people, it's a very known country, has a lot of power, the girls here hit puberty very young. So if you're going to use that argument, it makes me think you're a predator, because using that line of logic, you would also sexualize someone who's 13, 14, 12, and it doesn't really make sense to me. So I don't believe in this whole magic soil thing, or like, oh, like, what is it called? Like, barely legal thing. I think it's disgusting. Like, you're going to fixate on it. And specifically go after that. And it like turns some people on more to know that they're mentally like a child. It's like, what do you have in common with them? They're supposed to be your partner, not someone you take advantage of, not your kid. It's very weird. Magic soil is when people are like, oh, but it would cross this state line, so actually it's fine now morally. Actually, it's okay to have sex with 14-year-olds now because you cross the state line. That would be magic soil. That's what I mean when I say that. And I think that's BS, and I don't support that at all. I don't think the law dictates morality just because some laws are based on general morality. It just never made sense to me. And I see these arguments a lot. It's not just like only niche communities, guys. Like, that's under Tim Pool, a Tim Pool clip. So clearly it's gaining popularity, and it's very concerning. And you see it more and more in media too. Like in Ice Spice's video, you guys know the girl with the orange afro who gained popularity recently? She had a music video where a 16-year-old's twerking her ass, doing this provocative dance that was originated in New Orleans in a nightclub. Okay, nightclub full of adults. And this is an adult dance. You're clapping your ass cheeks. Okay, they have a 16-year-old clapping her ass cheeks in a music video. How much do you want to bet that video is still monetized? How much do you want to bet? How many other music videos also include children, minors? It's not okay just because they got their period. That doesn't make them mentally advanced enough to know what they're consenting to or to know what's happening to them. And things like this, things like what Pearl says and promotes, is the reason why we still have child marriage legally in a lot of U.S. states. And it's very concerning. Like, how would a child even get divorced? Did anybody ever think of that? Well, they're basically your legal guardian. You're stuck with them. How are you going to separate from them? You're a kid, right? How would you even know necessarily what's done with you? You don't have developed boundaries. You don't know what you're consenting to. There are children getting married in the United States. And we have people like Pearl out here making points about how we should sexualize minors. In mainstream media, we have minors shaking their ass into the camera, getting monetized for it. And nobody's like, where was cancel culture for that? Like, I heard a little bit about it, but nothing on par with like when someone says the N-word. Why is it treated like that? This is a very serious issue. Why is it treated as, oh, you're obsessed if you talk about it? It's disgusting. And like when I was watching a video about this last night, I felt like a rock sink into my stomach, realizing that how normalized this predatory shit is. Like, I hate it. I hate having to even research it. Like, people say I'm obsessed, but like, you want to know the reality? I hate learning about this. I hate knowing this. I would prefer to be ignorant in some sense. I would sleep better at night. Like, do you think it's fun? Like, it's funny to make fun of it. Don't get me wrong. It's funny to make fun of like the hypocrisy of Pearl. That part's fun. But it's not fun to sit and watch her content. Like, it feels like my brain's melting. It feels like 2 cells of my brain are rubbing together and exploding. Okay? Like, all 2 of them. No, but I don't like having to see it. I don't like having to listen to the fact that children, minors, are getting sexualized by adults. And so many people are agreeing with it and saying it's okay. Like, that does not make me feel good. I don't like having to talk about that, but it has to be talked about. It has to be spoken about. Because how normalized it is. Also, like, you know, something else that comes up in my mind about this is Bad Bobby, Catch Me Outside girl or whatever. The girl who created OnlyFans the day she turned 18. Now she's pregnant. And I wonder, my first question was, is she going to continue to do that while she has like a pregnant belly and it's showing? Like, it's these morally, like, quote unquote ambiguous things that shouldn't be ambiguous, in my opinion. These like gray area things that should not be gray area. I think that it should be more black and white than it is right now. And I just see it getting more and more hypersexual, and hypersexuality seems to also come with children getting taken advantage of. For some reason, they're always linked. What's with that? Why is it that the more hypersexual things get, the more kids suffer? And then, like, on TikTok, too, you have, like, the teenagers twerking and just allowed on the app. You have porn allowed on the app. I've seen it many, like, not many times on my algorithm, but other people have shown me, and I've seen it around. But, like, it is there. And I was shocked when I saw it, too. And it comes with the hypersexuality. And it's getting more rampant. Yeah, Netflix is still up. They have cuties. They still have it on there, right? Normalized. They're still making millions, right? Why is that? Why is child marriage still a thing? Why are people sexualizing minors on the internet? Why are there millions of men telling underage girls to make an OnlyFans as soon as they turn 18? Like Bad Barbie did. Bad Baby, or whatever her name is. I saw what people were saying when Billie Eilish was underage, sexualizing her. Why is this so prevalent? And it's because people don't, there's not enough social stigma. There's not enough consequences for allowing that. So that's why I'm talking about it. So I want to move on to the self-care aspect in regard to Pearl. Let me catch up on super chats first. Ill Rude $2. Brittany, everything you're saying is common sense. You would think. Like, the fact that I have to say it is, that's what makes me feel sick. Smiley Earth 999. I saw a podcast she did, and she said women make a big deal out of pregnancy. A dog could do it. She doesn't even know what it's like. A dog could do it? So, literally, the reason we're all alive isn't a big deal. Literally, the creation of us, all of us living, breathing here, we all came out of a woman. That's not a big deal. 18 years having to raise a child, that's not a big deal. Also, dogs have a different, what is it called? Strategy for having babies. Like, their babies can kind of, like, do stuff after however many months. Humans have to raise their children for how long? 2 different strategies. She makes a lot of false equivalencies. Honestly, you'll see that a lot. 18 is a random number. Yeah, it kind of, in a sense, I get what you're saying, because it's like, this is my take. If somebody is 17 years and 364 days old, is that morally different than the next day? It's like, obviously not. That's why I'm saying people who go for barely legal and they're purposely going after that, it's very creepy. Because it's not about the one day. It's about the concept of how fast humans mentally develop. And nowadays it's slower. Like, people are taking longer to mature. So it's kind of worse. It's even worse that minors are being sexualized nowadays. Like, 18 is like the bare minimum for, like, around here, we think you're mature enough to handle things. That's why it's 18. But the morality of it is there's really not much difference between 17 years and 364 days and then 17 years and 365 days. That's what I'm trying to say. Jack, 10 pounds. They really try to justify it. So sad. I know. $5 from Ill Rude. Pearl repeats stuff that she heard on the internet. I doubt she knows or understands what she's talking about. Yeah, she's like a parrot. She just kind of like, there's no like actual thinking going on in there. It's kind of bimbo. She should embrace bimbo, but she's just like repeating back, parroting what guys say without actually researching it, which was covered in the first video. Why I say that. The female Andrew Tate video. Excuse me. Smiley Earth 999 super chat. I saw a podcast. Oh wait, I already read that one. Wine-ons and kids don't mix well. $2. MacLeod. They mix well for like a very short period of time. You know, like Thanksgiving. $5 from push-ups. Your Japan video is one of your most fascinating videos. It's very scientific. Are the effects same in other countries with legal hoes like Holland? Okay, here's the thing about brothels. How would you know if there's underage kids in there unless it's investigated? And if they're legal, they're not really getting investigated. What, they're coming once a year or something? Like, they're not really cracking down on them. So I'm against the concept of brothels in general. I think, like I said, it's funny how hypersexuality somehow always ends up endangering kids. Somehow it always gets linked. And Japan, in particular, does a lot of suspect things with children. Like the age of consent law that they had to change from 14 or whatever it was, like 10 years ago. They have like weird idol culture for teens with grown men like slobbering all over them. They have various different sex work things that are like not sex work because there's not penetration, wink wink, but they have like these teen girls walking around and they have to pay off their debts, so they have to, and I went over that in the video a little bit, but it's basically like incentivized, like the girls are kind of incentivized to do sex work even if they're like underage. They're not allowed to, but like there's so many loopholes, and how would you know? And it's so common. And then you have the little girls, like literal children idols and guys that are fans of them. It's very creepy. It's very strange. And I say that's someone who obviously, I grew up watching anime. I'm learning the language. I love many things about Japan, but the normalization of some of these things that endanger children, I really do not like. And Vice has made documentaries about it too. This isn't just me saying that. You can easily find these documentaries on YouTube if you would like to look into it. I did a live stream about it way back. Oh my god, still too hot in here. What is going on? Maybe it's because I'm getting heated about like the kids. Anyway, so let's go on to her self-care, to Pearl's feminine self-care. So I would like to preface this by saying that there is a right way to do things and a wrong way, right? You can do things the right way or you can do them the wrong way. Obviously there's things like art where you might argue that it's more of a creative thing, but even when you do art unconventionally, you have to know how to do it conventionally first. It's kind of like fashion. In order to dress against your lines on purpose, you have to know how to dress for your lines. So there's still a right and wrong way to do it. You know, abstract art isn't literally random when it's done right. There actually is an artistic process to it. It's not like the one where you like tape a banana to a white background. There actually is a right and wrong way to do things, even in an artistic sense. And that's why some artists are successful too and others aren't. And then others are just a laundering scheme. But anyway, I notice consistently with Pearl that she does things the wrong way. And it comes out, like I said, the micro reflects the macro, and it comes out in a lot of things that she does. So, for example, you can see her hair here. To me, it looks pretty obvious that it's extensions, because, like, look how, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. But look how it just, like, cuts off right here. You see how it's just short right there, and then it's just stick straight and longer. That usually happens when you have really bad extensions. You're not supposed to be able to see where your real hair ends. So whoever her stylist is here, whether this is a haircut or extensions, really just fucked her shit right up. Because I don't know. It literally looks like a 5-year-old took some, like, you know those scissors you cut with cardboard when you're a kid and you can't handle actual scissors? They're cardboard scissors. It looks like she took those plastic scissors and, like, cut her hair. Mommy, look. So, you know, she could have gotten extensions in the right way, you know, and it's crazy that she'll condescend to women for trying to look good. Like, oh, you're already married. Why would you do that? Or like, oh, you have caked on makeup. Or how dare you get self-care? Shouldn't you focus on your kids? Meanwhile, you know, she's putting effort in, but not enough effort and not in the right way. So that's what I mean when I say doing things in the certain way, in the correct way, the way you're supposed to do things. And she's not doing things in that certain way. This is not it. Okay, this looks, her family's a multimillionaire family. She grew up very rich. She has a street named after her. She can find a stylist that doesn't fuck her shit right up. It looks really bad. It's not blended at all. You shouldn't be able to tell that they're extensions. Okay, and that's not the only instance. Obviously, we have the other instance as well where she did the really bad makeup that we went over in the video. So even as a beginner, these things, there's the certain way you can do things or you cannot do it. And she is like not doing it right. Like, I pointed this out in the video, the lips and the eyes. So there's things I didn't go over. Okay. I know. Trigger warning, please. And I was gonna point that out. I saw someone said that in the comments that it looks like mortician makeup, and it does. It does. Why are you zooming in? Okay. The chat's reaction. Jump scare. I'm dying. Okay. So, we already went over, like, that she doesn't do things in a certain way. Her application of the makeup's really bad. And I touched on the color theory aspect. And also, to add on to that, by the way, it's not just that the color is dark. It's also because it's too gray. So on me, grayish stuff looks good because I'm kind of muted. So it matches. It's cohesive with my natural coloring. I don't have intense colors. Yes, I have light skin and dark hair, but there's a grayish tint over everything. Like when I get my eyebrow pencil, I have to get gray brown. My natural hair color on stream, I understand it changes lighting a little bit, but it's like everything has like a grayish hue. My lips, when I have like absolutely no makeup on, it looks more desaturated. So in Pearl's case, it's the opposite. She naturally has like brighter eyes. Like my eyes are blue-ish green, but they're like, they have gray in them. Hers are brighter, right? Her natural hair color is like brighter. Her natural coloration without any makeup is brighter than mine, like relative to mine, because color theory is relative to the things around you. So things can look black without it actually being black. That's essentially what color theory is about. So in her case, because she has that brightness poking through, and she's light too. It's like bright and light. So she's putting on gray and it's dimming her. It's making her, that's why it looks like mortician's makeup. It's because it's dimming her. It's like you have two kinds of people. You have people that look like they have a light bulb on in their head, which is like her, like not because she's intelligent, because obviously I wouldn't be using that as an example for that, but I mean in the sense that like she's not the brightest bulb in the batch. Anyway, so what I mean is like your coloration, it looks like you have a light bulb on or off. For me, it looks like it's off, but it doesn't look like that to you guys because I know my colors, right? I put on the peachy pinks, the warm pinks. I choose my background color. I put on the green light to contrast with this so I pop out. I understand the color theory, so I don't look lifeless. But there's still a softness to me, right? With Pearl, it's like she has a natural bright lightness to her, but then she's dimming it, right? So she looks like now she's naturally light bulb on. Now she looks like light bulb off, but it conflicts with her natural coloring, if that makes sense. So I wanted to add that on. It's not just because it's dark, it's also because it's grayish. So it looks like there's something on her as opposed to something with her. When you look at someone's makeup, I'm going to go on full cam for a second. I'm not saying you have to be perfect or a master at makeup, but if you get enough things right, you'll get a pass, right? So I've learned through teaching myself, trial and error, and also, but I don't go on cam, like this. But I watch other people and I take here and there what applies to me and I figure it out. I learned how to do my makeup as an adult, like way later than most girls. Like this year was the first year I used foundation in my life. Okay, like I learned very late and I still learned how to do it. I'm not walking around like that. Even when I first started, it wasn't like that. Okay, and I was orphaned. I wasn't from a multi-million-dollar family who has resources. So when you look at my makeup, right? Even though I'm sure I would be put to shame by like professional makeup artists and such. But when you look at my makeup, you can see my face, right? Like you can stop jump scaring us. So when you see my makeup, you don't see the makeup, you see my face first, right? Jump scare coming. But when you see hers, you see the makeup first. You don't see her face first. So when you look at makeup, when it's done right, it should look kind of like you're looking through the person. So that's why you want to use colors that are relative to you guys. I can't look at chat. I hear the psycho music. I can't. Is that why your eyeliner isn't even connected? Yes, because I have hooded eyes, and that's how you're supposed to do it when you have hooded eyes. When you blink, there's a bat wing shape. It's not, you can't. That's how, I have the hardest features to work with for makeup, and I still manage as an adult. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be perfect, but even I managed it as an adult with features that are extremely hard to work with. Western makeup doesn't even offer the color palette I need. I have grayish coloring. I have to go to Mitsuwa and buy Japanese makeup to work with my face for the most part. I have to use Japanese makeup. And I learned that as an adult. And I'm orphaned. She has a multi-million-dollar family who she asks for daddy for everything. What's her excuse? So it looks like it's on her. So I just wanted to clarify that because I feel like I didn't specify that clear enough in the video. I think most people got the point, but I just wanted to be very specific and go into the details for those of you who are curious. So, making fun of another woman. I feel like you just want to derail the stream. Because I know you're not in my chat typing, you're making fun of another woman after you just saw her talk about how 16-year-olds are harder than 26-year-olds. I know you're not in my chat doing that right now. After, like, how many videos have I made putting clips of her making fun of other women and putting other women down for trying, and then she herself wants to be those women and tries to put on makeup like them after criticizing them? I know you're not that stupid in my chat. Please time him out. Remove him. Absolutely tone deaf. Anyway. So the other thing I wanted to go over, like that's literally her whole brand, Aiden, sorry. I always say Aiden when I see you in my head. I don't know why. But anyway. So the other thing I wanted to go over in terms of the makeup aspect, and then I'm going to move into other thing that I didn't get to talk about in the video that I wish I did. So first off, why is she posing her face like this? Why is she raising her eyebrow? Like, I've mentioned that before. I still don't know why. Why are you raising one eyebrow? Why are you doing that? And also, her makeup application makes her eyes look... She already has an asymmetrical face, and she's making it look more asymmetrical. So why is she doing that? Like, it literally... Like, she blended it all the way up here, and then this one's, like, down here. With, like, how she applied her makeup. Like, she chose to make it worse. Everyone has asymmetry to some degree, but it looks very extreme here because of her presentation. And not only that, like, you need to learn how to pose your face in photos. Again, I'm not talking about you need to literally be perfect, but that's part of femininity, is learning how to look pretty, learning how to pose. It's not, oh, you have to be 100% made up all the time. But you know what, guys? If she didn't want to be criticized, then she shouldn't criticize women who do put effort in and then end up with this, okay? Like, look, even in different lighting, it's not even just like how she took the photo. I mean, it is bad, but like we have two photos to refer to here. It's not just a bad angle. So we have the poor application of the makeup making her eyes look even more uneven, her facial posing being really bad. It's a little bit of, it has more of a V shape than normal, a little bit, but she could work on that. But she's smiling, it looks like a fake smile. She's not using her eye, like, okay, I'm gonna imitate. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys better not fucking screen cap this. I'm gonna show you guys the face she's doing versus what she should be doing in a photo, okay? This is part of femininity, and if she wanted to hold a man, she would learn how to do these things. No, it's not a good color on her, Aiden, because she tried to match her eyeshadow, and that's like one of the first rules you learn about like color theory makeup is like usually with very few exceptions, like red on red is a no go because when you do makeup, you're trying to emphasize the area of your face. So if I put on red lipstick, I am trying to emphasize my mouth. If I have an ugly lower mouth, I'm not going to put on red lipstick. And I'm certainly not going to do it in a really, really bright color that looks like it's removed from me because it doesn't go with my color palette. Things like that. Because bright colors don't look bright on some people. That's why they can wear them. Anyway. So this is her face pose that she does. Motherfuckers better not screen cap it. Okay, this is her. This is her. Wait, so this is her left. Okay. I don't think I can move that half like of my face like that, but I'll just do on this half. Like that's how it looks. I can't even move my face like that. I literally can't. Like it looks goofy. Like why aren't you posing feminist? Because you have no female friends. That's why we know that. But like if you're talking about how you want a husband, you know, you better get like a V-shaped smile. You better learn how to use your face muscles. And we're going to go into some of the solutions for this. If you're like Pearl, which nobody would want to be like that. But if you're like Pearl and you want a solution to these sort of issues and you can relate to any of these issues, instead of getting triggered, just wait for me to explain what you can do about it. Because I'm also going to give solutions. Next thing about her makeup, like all of that space up there, right? Okay, again, you know how I said you don't want to put red lips on if you have like if the lower half of your face is less attractive than your upper half. So that would be me. Like I know that. So because I'm self-aware. So I know to put more emphasis on my eyes, even though they're smaller, taking everything into account, it's going to generally look better if I emphasize my eyes. So it's very rare you'll see me with red makeup unless it's really part of the look. So I emphasize my eyes. I make sure I do eyeliner. I'm one of those people that like, I need eyeliner. She's not, you look at her and she doesn't really know where to emphasize. Like, I guess good for her that she didn't overdo it on her eyebrows, at least, but everything, it looks like there's too much going on. You gotta pick one. She should have went with like a nude lip relative to her. So meaning not like literally brown. Don't do that. She has cool toned skin with like a little warmth. So like, you know, go for something that's like a light pink relative to her. So that might be like a neutral light pink, right? And then you like can go a little more on the eyes, but not how she did it, obviously. It looks very unblended. It's the wrong color. The technique's bad. Then her forehead is also a makeup issue. So like it's not only a hair issue, but it's also a makeup issue. Like she needs to contour up here, and I think she did, but it looks really patchy. I think that's why you have the uneven lighting here. Like it's all warm here. I think what she did, unless it really is the lighting of the photo, I think what she did was she took like a contour stick. Let me show you guys what that looks like. So she took like one of these, right? This is the Fenty Beauty one. This one is in shade Amber 01. If you're like light olive neutral, this one's really good. So you use this brownish grayish color to like put shadows, right? That's where I would put shadows, right? And here, because I have a heart-shaped face, if I was really feeling up to it. So for her, I think she took one of these, but not in a grayish brown, but in like a warm brown. Like when I say warm brown, think of like, I don't know, like I look kind of warm right now, so, but like this. This is like a warm brown. There's a lot of yellow in this. Like it's very yellowy. So instead of taking a brown that's more blue, like this, she took something that was like this and probably started shading on her forehead, or at least it looks like that. She did something to where that's how it looks. It looks like the shadows are very warm. In any case, those shouldn't even be there. She should just have hair that's like styled better for that, and not highlighting her forehead. Like, why is she highlighting her forehead? She chose this like orangey brown to highlight her forehead. Why? And even if that wasn't the case and it's just, the lighting, why isn't your hair, as someone who preaches about beauty and femininity and how you literally can't get married unless you're a perfect, pretty princess angel, and she wants to get married, why is she doing this? Multimillionaire family. Why is she doing this? Her dad lets her walk around like this? She doesn't have any female friends that care about her, that are in her comments. Like, let me tell you something. If anybody was complimenting her in the comments, it was either a guy or probably a girl that doesn't like her. Most likely, unless it's a girl that genuinely wants to be nice, that she would feel rewarded for effort. But again, I don't call this effort. Relative to her wealth, effort would be go to Sephora and have someone teach you. That would be have a personal makeup stylist. You're that rich. That would be effort relative to her. But she took a warm orangey brown and went like that, instead of using something like this, a cool brown that's grayish and bluish, to add shadows. So for her, she should have added, it looks like she contoured her nose too, or tried to. When she's doing that, she needs to use this sort of brown and make that little V shape, because she has cooler toned skin. Even though she has the reddish warm hair, she still is more cool toned. So why are you using warm browns to add shadows to your face? That's not how that works. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're contouring your face, shadows are cool toned in general. When you see shadows, they're always grayish black, right? Same concept. Okay. Thank you, Adam, for becoming a secret simp. And June Kazama, $4.99. I can relate because I'm black. I have to use techniques Koreans use for their makeup, especially for my eyes. They're almond and small. Yeah. Why is there a bald patch in her eyebrow? Probably because she doesn't care about her brows. I'm going to talk about that too. So, and she should contour the sides of her nose and cheeks. Her nose is already small. If I had to prioritize something, I would probably maybe the cheeks, because her cheeks aren't that prominent. But her nose is already small. That wouldn't be if you're someone who doesn't use makeup, that wouldn't be the first priority for me if I was her. You could, but once you know what your worst features are, you can kind of figure out what you should be emphasizing and what's the most minimal work to do if you're someone who doesn't like makeup. You figure out a routine that's minimal for you, that's the bare minimum, and it works, right? It's okay, I know I need to do eyeliner, bare minimum. I know I need to do concealer, bare minimum. Not everyone has to do every step of makeup. Some people don't use bronzer, and that's fine, and it looks good on them. I don't like bronzer. I use this. But her eyebrows, let's talk about that. Her eyebrows are very sparse over here, right? And that's fine if you want to keep them natural. It's actually kind of trendier to keep them natural. Oh, let me make myself smaller. So my problem with it is it doesn't look like to me that she's really plucking them and trimming them. And if she's really too lazy to do that, she could go get them threaded. I personally wouldn't recommend threading because she already has all this loose skin around her eye from her lack of self-care. So that might make it worse. That's why I stopped getting my eyebrows threaded, because I would come back and I literally had stretch marks from them pulling so hard. So I just started plucking and trimming. And there are so many filters on TikTok that help you with makeup or help you with choose an eyebrow shape that looks best. They literally have one where you open the app and you type in eyebrow filter and you click it. And it whites out your eyebrows, right? And then it looks almost natural, by the way, when you switch between the brows. And you can switch between different brow shapes, and you can figure out which brow shape looks good on you. Women have it so easy in the current year to figure out what makeup suits their face versus girls a decade ago. And that's why makeup looked like how it did a decade ago. Like, we have so many resources and free tools to do this now, especially if you're rich like her. So I don't know why she has her eyebrows like that. They're not shaped. Doesn't look like she's trimming them. You could keep them naturally shaped, but like, you could see that it's not trimmed. You know, she has a random long one here, random long one there, then it goes down and then it goes out and then back down and then back out. It kind of looks like if you scribbled on an eyebrow. And it just looks a little too wild in a bad way. It's not like intentionally wild and manicured. It looks like there's no effort. And eyebrows frame your entire face. They're very important. So she should look into that. And also, again, like, the face posing kills me. As for her hair, she could have gotten bangs. Like a side sweep bang. She could get many variations of bangs, and it would look better than this. Almost all of them would look better than this. Pretty much anything would be an improvement. As long as it's not her cutting with her plastic scissors like looked like she did with her extensions in that other photo. And let's see. Oh, and her mascara is too dark for her. Why is she using black mascara? Use brown mascara. I use brown mascara. I have to go to the Asian market to get brown mascara sometimes. They sell it in the drugstore sometimes, though, in America. Like American markets. Asian markets definitely have brown mascara, though, if you have one near you. Or order on Amazon. They have the Asian makeup on Amazon. Not all of it all the time. Sometimes it's out of stock and a little hard to get, but usually there's something. And we already talked about how, like, she's slacking in her skincare in general. You can tell here. And that's actually what I wanted to go into. So I have some notes about this. And again, I want to point out that it's not about being perfect. It's about how many points are you getting right. You need a certain amount of points to look presentable, to look like you put effort in. She just doesn't have, even though she quote unquote tried here, it's not enough points. It's not enough effort. So yeah, when you're doing your makeup also, like, I feel like the closer we get, the worse it gets. You see what I mean? Like, the more I zoom in, the worse it gets. Also, she should tightline. Why is she not tightlining her eyes? It's just bald there. I have that problem too, because I'm like fair. I have that too. I tightline it with eyeliner. Like, use waterproof eyeliner. You can research what formula you like if you're not comfortable with like wax or whatever, but, you know, tightline it. But you zoom in, zoom out now. If you use, I'm sorry, hold on. I'll stop in a second. I'll zoom back out in a second. When you zoom into her lips, there's all these bald spots in her lips. And I don't even know how you managed to do that. Use some lip liner. Use a lip tint. If you can't figure out lipstick, that's what I did today. I use lip tint when I'm not feeling fussy. I don't know who taught her to do this. I really don't. Like, did you even look up a makeup tutorial at all? Or were you just like, like, what's the point if you're not doing things in a certain way? Why even do them? But, yeah, it's just, like, not enough points. She's not getting enough points in the effort. And I would say because of this is a good example of when you're doing your makeup as a woman, you have to, you know, go close to the mirror and then go back from the mirror. And then go close again and make sure it didn't crease under your eyes or something or peel off. And then you go back, right? Some girls, you know, there's different ways of doing it. Some girls are like floor girls where they do their makeup on the floor in front of the mirror and they have like nice lighting. Some girls are bathroom girls. I'm a bathroom girl. I didn't grow up putting on makeup. I feel like girls who grew up putting on makeup are like floor girls, but I learned as an adult. So anyway, so yeah, like, you need to check different lights. Like, I do my makeup in the bathroom, but I know that it's going to look good in the bathroom light, but it might not look good in the outdoor light. So if it's daytime out, right, you won't have to care if it's nighttime. But if it's daytime out, I go outside to the living room where the sunlight is so I can see my makeup to make sure it doesn't look like this, right? Because if she checked multiple lights, you know, step closer and then step back. It's kind of like looking at a painting. You don't just look at it from one perspective. You step back to look at it. You go close to it. You look at it at different angles when you go to a museum, right? Same concept when you're doing your own artwork on your face. Excuse me. So that was art. So you basically need to check your work. And she didn't do that. Again, lack of effort. Could be ignorance too, but again, that's just a lack of effort, though, because, like, she could have someone teach her these things. She doesn't have to learn like a poor person would. She's very wealthy. Her family, I'm sure if she asked her dad, he funded her whole YouTube thing with her, like, employees and equipment, a good portion of it, because if you look at how much money she was making before she got demonetized, she would not be able to afford all that. So I'm sure he would be willing to help her out. Hey, Dad, can I have $100 to get my makeup done at Sephora or MAC? Get it done at MAC for free, you know? So that's what I have to say about that. And another thing, I didn't mention the clothes in the video. I feel like it speaks for itself. I think most guys saw it and were like, yeah, that's not attractive. But if we must. Bless you, Petals. So I know in the last stream, everyone was like, oh yeah, I would love to see Pearl in green because redheads look good in green. She has like a strawberry blonde hair. I noticed a lot of people characterize her as like red, but there's different shades of red. She has like strawberry blonde, and that does matter in color theory. So because her hair, it's not like super, super bright, and it's not super, super muted. It's kind of like in the middle. She needs to reflect that in her color palette, not just with her makeup, but also in her clothes. This color, even though this is like objectively like on the color wheel, like a medium dark green, relative to her coloring, because she's like light and bright, this is dimming her. Just like her makeup, how it's grayish, this shade of green, it's kind of grayish. It's dimming her down. She's like casting shadows on herself. She's using this like very grayish, dull green, and it's doing nothing for her. It's washing her out. It's sucking the life out of her face. So you have the makeup sucking the life out of your face. You have your hair sucking the life out of your face, highlighting your forehead. Why would you do that? Highlight your eyes, your eye color, or maybe like in her case, highlight your nose. And when I say highlight, I don't mean like highlighter. I mean in the sense of like focus and emphasis. But all these things are just draining her of life. And some people, to untrained eye, you probably wouldn't notice it because in order to see how things are, you need something to compare and contrast to, right? So when you don't have that, something will just look kind of like meh. But then when you see the person look good, you're like, wow, right? That's when you notice. So she's using a very dull shade of green. It doesn't look good on her. She should have went with something a little lighter and not with the black dots on it. Also, I would have unbuttoned it one more. It looks kind of like a man's shirt, the way she's wearing it. I don't like the way it's styled. There's a difference between styling and wearing, right? So if I'm wearing something, maybe it look like this, my shirt, right? But if I'm styling it, I'm like, okay, let's make it like look a little off the shoulder. It's the attention to details. It's the little adjustments. And there's a lot of little adjustments that need to be made here. So yeah, when I say someone is being washed out, that's what I mean. It's sucking the life out of their face, and your attention is not on their good features. It's on like everything else they're doing. So I would have unbuttoned it one more. You could wear it off the shoulder even. Probably look good on her. And different shade of green. It's too grayish. You don't have to go for something neon green. I wouldn't do that either. But like a light green, you know? That doesn't have a bunch of gray in it. Like a light green. A light blue. She could have even went for a warmer green, I agree, but just not this grayishness to it, though. Cypher's Basement $5 super chat. If you're bored, I published a content cop on iDevs. Oh, really? I was just thinking the other day, has anybody ever made fun of him, like satire of him? I appreciate your coverage situation. Keep up the brutally good work for real. Thank you, Cypher's Basement. Everything Everyday podcast by Daryl Long. Thank you for being a subscriber for 3 months. Birdie Venti wins again. Stop by one day. We heart you. Thank you. Sasha Lamora, 10 months subscriber. How much for you to go and do her makeup? Well, it'd be a lot. And I'm just going to say no on principle because I'm already low-key, like, it's good because I'm helping the people watching who have similar problems to her and can apply it to themselves. But it's bad in the sense of if she watches it and takes my advice, because then I'm helping someone who's doing bad in the world and doesn't really seem reasonable or willing to change. So, like, on principle, I wouldn't want to help her. Like, why would I help her? Why would I help her amplify her message of harming children? Why would I do that? So, anyway. Did I miss any other ones? Grandpalskin, 35 months subscriber. I think that's the longest this stream. Her eyes, thank you. Her eyes are misaligned. Yeah, but she emphasized it. She emphasized her worst features. It's actually incredible. It's almost an art within itself. If it were intentional, I would almost tell her, like, good job. You fucked up so good. That's what I would say. June. Oh, you read that one. Okay. And then Queen Wasp, thank you for becoming a subscriber. Okay. So now this is the part that I wanted to talk about in the video that I didn't get to. So I have my notes here. My little panda bear notes that Sean got me. Hold on, let me show you. They're kind of hard to see when I write on them. They're cute. Okay. Oh, thank you, Spectral, for being a subscriber for 66 months. He's definitely going to be the longest. I don't think anyone's going to beat him. Every time you show that picture, I hear her voice saying, hi, I want to go on a date. Yeah. Here's your state-mandated girlfriend, bro. That's what you're going to get. You thought you were going to get Adriana Lima? Like, have you seen the government phones? So, for those of you who suffer with insecurity issues, and it's going to take some discernment to actually absorb this message the right way, because any message basically can be interpreted in a way that's bad and cannot serve someone. However, I want to say that if there's something you're insecure about or you feel like other people won't like about you, usually, again, take this with, like, discernment. That does not mean if you have something that is objectively bad, like wanting to like unalive someone. I don't know, most extreme example, like, obviously, okay? But someone can be attracted to you for the thing that you feel like nobody wants you for. And what I mean by that, I'll give myself as an example. So for me, let's say, like, Spooky. Let's say, like, oh, I have an annoying cat, so, like, no man would ever want me because Spooky is so loud on my stream. But in actuality, there are plenty of guys out there that would love to have an annoying cat. That would be their dream. Okay, and in that same sense, you could even apply it to, like, health issues. There are women in wheelchairs, disabled from the neck down, with handsome husbands and beautiful children. It's not super common because that type of disability isn't even that common, but it does happen. And there is always a person that will love you, even if it is something objectively bad. There's always someone out there that would probably love you for it. Serial killers get love letters, guys. So It doesn't mean don't self-improve. You should self-improve. And that's why I'm trying to say you need to listen with discernment when I say this. And that kind of goes on to my next point too. But for me, for example, like I get migraines. I'm light sensitive. I have a corn allergy. It's very hard for me to eat food. Traveling is a huge pain. I basically don't get to eat sometimes. I have to survive on cheese, and like it's really hard. So it's not fun. And I would imagine that a guy might find that to be unattractive and inconvenient. Because, like, imagine, like, you can't go to your favorite restaurants anymore. I cook, and I cook a lot of good things and a huge variety of different ethnicities, food-wise, right? But that's still not the same as, like, a restaurant experience. So, you lose out on that. You lose out on, like, the convenient aspects of traveling, right? I could view that as, like, oh my God, like I'll never find a guy who wants to be with me because of my corn allergy, and it makes it harder to date me, right? Or like I could be like, oh my God, because I get migraines and I'm super photosensitive, and that means I can't go to certain places or do certain things to avoid certain triggers. Like I can't go on a roller coaster, motion sickness. I can't stare at really bright lights. Like I can't go into certain stores. I have to like put on sunglasses. You know, I could view that easily and be like, yeah, I'm going to die alone. No man would ever want me because of that. But the reality is something even like that, guys. Like Sean, for example, loves me like for that in a way. Like obviously he sees that I suffer because of it, right? But to him, it gives a sense of like familiarity because he knows someone that's close to him that suffered from migraines, right? So it reminds him of that person that he cares about. So in a way, it makes him care about me, and it brings out certain nurturing things about him to help me and to help me in my health. So even with something like that, you know, there's somebody for everyone is essentially the sentiment, right? And you attract people because naturally life is a polarity. One's and zeros, black and white. So if you're black, there's white, right? So there's an opposite to everything. And so naturally, you're always attracting someone or something. So even if it's something you view as like something you can't help and you're insecure about it, there might be someone out there that's attracted to you for that. Like I would have never thought that like, oh, Sean would find my migraines slightly endearing because like someone close to him that he cares about has them, you know? I would never think that. You would never be able to think of those things. So it's interesting how life works out like that. With that said, though, be careful who you're attracting. So you may have these certain qualities that are like even negative that you could help, but you don't. And you don't change them. Like you're super unambitious. Is that a word? Like you're not ambitious, right? And you're a guy. So it's like super, super like like people are like look side-eyeing you. And it's something you could help, but you don't. Even if it's caused by underlying issue, you do nothing to fix it. And there might be girls out there, they're sugar mamas, right? They might be attracted to that. Maybe you have other things that they're attracted to, and they'll tolerate that too. But now, well, guess what? You're attracting 70-year-old women. So, like, do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to be aware of what you're attracting. There is somebody for everyone, and there always is someone who is going to find whatever it is about you attractive in most cases. Few exceptions. Like today I heard Mira talking about how cuckold's fantasy of, like, being degraded. Like the men, not cuckold, but, like, within that, men who like to be degraded, they're like, they like their significant other to talk about how they have a small pee-pee and how they want to like slurp off the other guy's nut juice off of their wife's face. Like women are not attracted to that. And she made a really good point because if you're with a guy who literally they have their pee-pee in a cage and they literally will not have sex with you and they will not use it because they find it a turn on, like what woman would want that? Like that, basically no women are attracted to that. And she pointed out, she browses through like all of these like romance forums, like books, like novels and things like that, like what are women's fantasies. And she said she's never seen women talk about how they want a guy who's literally like, yes, degrade me, spit on me, tell me how I'm ugly and have small pee-pee and how I'll never have sex with you, and then have sex with someone in front of me and then let me lick the coom juice off of their face, off of your face after they coom on you. Like, that's a male fantasy. And it's surprising to hear that, because it's like, oh my god, wait a second. It's interesting, isn't it, that it isn't, even though there are female cut queens, that specific thing is a male fantasy. And you don't see women's novels talking about that, writing things like that. You don't. It's true. So it's very weird. It's like, obviously there aren't women really attracted to that. They may tolerate it. There may be cut queens, but that aspect of it, of like a guy who wants to be humiliated, like a lot of dominatrixes, for example, they don't even get undressed. They don't even touch the person. They're not even attracted to them. They're not turned on. They just do it for the money. Women don't find that attractive. They don't find, like, what woman finds that attractive? A guy who's like, ma'am, can I lick the coom juice off your face after the bull just had sex with you? And also, I'm never going to make love to you, and I'm going to have my dick in occasion. Women, they don't. It's like the foot fetish thing. Like, there are basically no women who like foot fetishes, and the ones who do, Mira said, for example, are lesbian, and it's very rare at that. So, like, you have to always look to see what you're attracting. So with most things, though, you will always be attracting someone. Like I said, that would be an example of an exception. I was laughing my ass off listening to Mira streaming. I retweet her on Twitter a lot, and her talking about that, I was literally crying laughing. Her talking about how nobody wants that. I wish she would clip it so I could play it. But, yeah. So if you don't want a certain type of person attracted to you, you may have to change those things. So with that said, how that links back to Pearl. How that links back to Pearl is, when you present yourself this way, you are attracting something, right? So she's especially with not just the way she presents herself visually, but also with what she says. You know, with, oh, don't date women who say they have boundaries. 16-year-olds are hotter than 26-year-olds. And I could understand a 13, 12-year-old with Muhammad. And she says these things, right? So who do you think she's going to attract? Where she's literally like, oh, but if it were 12 or 13. So, like, she says weird comments like that, predatory comments, does predatory things, interviews high school girls with inappropriate questions, leaves the video up, changes the thumbnail to have the girl in it, vindictively. What type of man do you think she's going to attract? She's going to attract someone abusive that's going to cheat on her, especially because she's like, oh, if men cheat, it's like a handshake. She's going to attract abusive men who are cheaters, who basically are narcissists. She's essentially going to attract a sociopathic narcissist. That's who she's gonna get, and possibly a predator themselves. Maybe they just use her for like a, side check, pump and dump, and then they go for someone younger, whatever. And she has no awareness of this, and I genuinely think she shows symptoms of autism, and that's why she's like literally like handling it in such a way that has no self-awareness. And that's not to say that I'm not autistic. I probably am, but it's a spectrum, right? Clearly there's something off. Like I said in the video, there's something off. And it's really not a mystery what. So it's both in the visual aspect, who she's attracting, and in the personality aspect. And when you are someone who degrades other women, right, that shows that you're insecure. So guess who you're going to attract? Someone, not always, but you're probably going to attract someone who's going to take advantage of that insecurity. You're probably going to attract bad people. There are some people who have low self-esteem and they attract like Prince Charming to help fix their self-esteem. Of course that could happen too. But she has too many markers of like bad traits that she would be attracting in both her personality and in her physical looks and presentation. So she's really not playing her odds here. And with that said, I want to go into the very important topic related to the thumbnail. Why is Pearl afraid of moisturizer? Why? They sell it for $5 at the store, at the pharmacy, and her dad is very rich. Her family, both her mom and dad, very rich. She afforded this makeup, didn't she? Why is she scared of moisturizer? Now, when it comes to makeup, the app typing in the chat. The application is important. However, if you don't have good skin prep, your makeup is going to look like shit. Pretty much. And in her case, she already has skin issues, okay? She already has premature wrinkles due to her lack of care in her health and her skin and not using sunscreen. And her wrinkles are like trying to suck the moisture out of the makeup. Her skin looks incredibly dry. If she put moisturizer on, maybe her skin wouldn't be trying to suck the life out of her eyeshadow. So when it comes to skincare, it's very important, and it goes hand in hand with makeup. You need skin prep in order to actually properly apply makeup. And I had to learn this too. Because I'm like, why is it flaking off? I don't get it. You have to really, really moisturize your face in order for makeup to stick. And it's really not even that much work. Like, yes, it does take some effort to do a little research. But honestly, if you're lazy, just look up dermatologists, what they say on YouTube. You could trial and error it, sure. But there's a lot of cheap products that do the job. And she could use a moisturizer that is at a pharmacy, like literally use like CeraVe or something, a dermatologist type of approved brand. Ignore my cats, they're having zoomies. Maybe I should kick them out. And she could easily moisturize her face, but she doesn't. So that's how you know she generally doesn't take care of herself. And a lot of her wrinkles would be softened if she did use a moisturizer. She can afford the good ones. Why not? Why not? I already went over sunscreen. She already has some damage. She should still try to use sunscreen. There's even moisturizing sunscreens that you could use. There are. And it's a 2-in-1 if you're really that lazy. They're a little annoying to use, make you look a little shiny, but it'd be better than this. Her skin looks very, very dry. Okay, I'm gonna let the cats out. Hey! Stop catting around. Get out. Get out of here. They actually got out. Oh no, camera. Hello, camera. You... Okay, there we go. So she could get a 2-in-1. Why doesn't she do that? Why doesn't she go get a 2-in-1 moisturizer sunscreen? Even that simple change could change her entire look to be one step better. Even if you can't get every check mark, just do the important ones. Skincare, skin prep. Use vitamin C to brighten your skin and make it look glowy. Use tretinoin. I recommended that. I don't know if she used a makeup primer, but for the longevity of makeup, I doubt she would know this. Use a primer. Use a moisturizing primer. You have dry skin. The Milani one, for example. I like, for the moisturizer for me, I just switched to the Clinique one and I'm testing it out. My favorite one so far was the prebiotic one. If you type that in on Amazon, it's like in a yellow tube. That one's one of the only ones that did not irritate my skin whatsoever, but I'm just testing different things because I have autoimmune issues. I've been to the doctor many, many times about my skin. And so I have to be very careful with it or I break out. It's just genetic. And I have a very good skincare routine, very religious about my skincare routine. So it's not about being perfect. Even if I do still get acne here and there, right? I'm still trying. Versus her, there's really not that much effort. So I'm not saying that you have to literally be perfect. But, you know, get a skincare routine going. Do something. Go to a, I think they call them estheticians, the ones that do more like skin peels and lasers. Do that. You can afford it. But we already talked about that. But it's a big part of the makeup, and I wish I had mentioned that in the video, that her skin being prepped would have helped her makeup a lot. And there's other things too. So like what the basics of what you want is a moisturizer, a sunscreen, and then at night tretinoin. Maybe with a moisturizer too. Then after that, the next level is you get vitamin C so you can lighten your dark spots wherever they are. And it helps during the daytime when the sun's hitting your face. Don't use it with your tretinoin. And then the next step after that would be to use like a toner to close your pores, an essence to help moisturize your skin. Be careful if you have sensitive skin. You might have to go for more organic, like 1-2 ingredient type of things as opposed to stuff that has like 10 ingredients in it. Like maybe you have to opt for castor and argan oil, things like that. Rosehip oil. I think rosehip oil is less researched though, but it technically has like vitamin A, like how tretinoin does. So I have really sensitive skin, and I have immunity issues. I literally can't eat most food because immunity issues. So my skin problem is different than her skin problem. Mine's genetic. I already maximize my skincare routine, and I'm not a multimillionaire, so I can't afford like a face peel all the time and like those type of things like she can. And yeah, she really should get a face peel. And you could do that too, even if you can't afford a face peel. I personally do the at-home ones. They sell them on Amazon. Like the most popular one was the ordinary one, the red one. There's a bunch of different ones you can use and have a face peel, and that helps me out personally. I like Innisfree's sunscreen, but it leaves a white cast. But that one was the best one for my acne. I almost feel like it helped my acne. I love that one. And yeah, she should care about her skin health more. It would help her makeup. And I just wanted to relate that to the makeup. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say as the follow-up to the video about Pearl. And what I wish I could go over in the video that I didn't get to. S'more $2. Serial killers are high-value men, Venti. No, I'm not saying they're high-value men. I'm saying that people are attracted to crazy things, except for cuckold men who put their dicks in cages. Women don't really like that. Smooth skin, 10 pounds. My girlfriend got me a skincare regimen. I'm Australian and my skin isn't used to the cold Scottish weather. My skin keeps getting flaky. Eyes look old as fuck. Definitely tretinoin. Skincare, fix all that. Get on it, fellas. Yeah, seriously. Dan Holland... By the way, I'm having like allergies. My nose is so stuffy. I don't want to blow my nose and like mess everything up. Dan Holland, 5 pounds. The war on terror would have been 1 year ago if we had been told the Taliban. If we told the Taliban that Pearl is an example of the 72 virgins. Yeah, you know, they just said virgins. They didn't say they had to be hot. Ripa cat. I can't read those kanji. $9.99. So I've got these almond-shaped Asian eyes that are kind of folded, but not really. Any tips on how to work with that? Yeah, you should definitely be using like powders instead of like eyeliner. You understand what I'm saying? Like I used eyeliner today, but that's because I built on that a lot, and I used eyeshadow first as eyeliner before I did that. Ugh, my nose is so stuffed. Oh, and by the way, I'm Nigerian, Mali, and Scottish. Small round face. Small round face. It depends on your features too, though. It's not just the face shape. But I think with a round face, aren't you supposed to do like circle blush because it like harmonizes with that? And then with glasses, I think you're supposed to wear more like square shaped glasses. See, that's like completely opposite to me. So then almond shaped Asian eyes kind of folded, but not really. So probably hooded eyes. Yeah, look up hooded eye tutorials. What I do is I have light set eyes, so I have to do my makeup backwards. I have to like draw the eyeliner closer to my nose, and I have to do dark colors here and here, and then also dark colors here and here, relative to me, not literally meaning dark, meaning like darker than my skin. and I kind of like blend it out. And when I do my eyeliner, I can't get that close to the camera because it's gonna blur, but right there, like okay, so I don't know. I'll have to make like a makeup tutorial or something one of these days. I tried to, but I got so bored editing it. I never uploaded it. And the camera angles are annoying to get. But basically, you follow the natural line of your eye, and then you do like not literally 90 degrees, but like toward your the end of your eyebrow. You point the liner, once you do the natural line downward, you point the eyeliner. If you're doing it upwards, you may not do this. I don't know your canthal tilt. I don't know if you have a negative or positive. I have a positive one. That's why I do it upwards. If you have like puppy eyes and you have like that kind of look, you want to just do it downwards. But I do that, and then I connect it like straight. That's how I do it for my eyes that have like a lot of extra skin and they're hooded. So it's a case-by-case basis. But yeah, almond shape, you definitely don't get the privilege of doing like a lot of like good eyeliner unless you have a lot of eyelid space, which doesn't sound like you have. So I don't even do eyeliner. Like you see like the lash area, I don't even do eyeliner there. I just tight line. That's how I do it. Like don't go over like your lid with the liner. It's gonna make your eyes look smaller. Like just do that part, the inner part. For me, I have wide set eyes, that's why I do that. And it connects to the lash. Then you skip it, and then you draw the line at the end here. So there's no eyeliner here. There's none on my eyelids. I just tight line inside the waterline to make it look like, because I have no eyelid space. That's how I do it. I hope that makes sense. Maybe one day I can do something a little more like detailed and have Sean like help me with the camera work to do that. What's your ethnicity, race? I'm my mom was black. I say was because my parents are deceased. My mom was black and my dad was Ukrainian, German, Polish. In that order. So like mostly Ukrainian, some German, and a little Polish. My mom was like African American black. Like black in America. You know? Like she looked like Mariah Carey though. That's how I always heard people tell her she looked like Mariah Carey. Because like she always wore the straight blonde weave and she had lighter skin. So I thought it was funny yesterday someone said I look like Mariah Carey. I'm like, oh, that means I have my mom's bone structure. Which I do. My mom was pretty. I wish I had good photos of her, but I don't because it wasn't quite in the digital era yet. Pearl uploaded a video on her Twitter. She mentioned she got thyroid problems from working on her show and the lack of sleep. She should have lived that soft girl life. See, guys, that's what happens when you don't live a very stressful life as a woman. It's going to make you uglier. It's going to make you less healthy. You need to find ways to relax and live more of a soft life. Because I hate that this keeps flipping. Because if you don't, you literally will make yourself uglier and get stressed and get wrinkles. And that concludes today's stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that was insightful and I can help some of you out there. As somebody who has a lot of very niche issues with like skincare and makeup, thus it can't be perfect and it's hard to work with. But yeah, that's why it's frustrating to see that when someone has very low maintenance issues, including with their hair. Like just get a haircut. Just get some layers, get some bangs. Damn. Like maybe not heavy ones because you don't want to highlight like the wrinkles into the eyes, but like, you know, a little bit, like maybe curtain bangs. Try it out. If you have her problem. Anyway, I have to go on James's show. His name is MK Ultra. What's his Twitter? Let me find it. Not Women Posting L's Twitter, because that's his Twitter too, but what is it? MK Ultra Money. That's his Twitter. So he posts the podcast episodes, and we just started it up again. So I'm going to go record with him. I have to go, guys. I'll see you later. Thank you so much for the donations, and thank you to Spectral for being a producer on Patreon. If you would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Brittany Venti. All the links are in the description. And of course, Reed Street Soap. You guys know that I help make the designs and ingredients of the like which ingredients, because we try to use the best ingredients, the healthiest ingredients with the soaps and candles. But we have a lot of holiday stuff too. You can, just so you guys know, if there's ever like a specific flavor you want, there's a search bar right there on the right, and you could just search the flavor you want, like type in gingerbread, holiday, whatever. And there's also categories here. And we have a lot of holiday candles and seasonal soaps. And now we have coconut wax candles, because some people were saying they don't like soy because they just don't like it for like potential health reasons or like whatever. So now we are switching to coconut wax candles. I'm very sensitive. I use these candles, the soy ones, but we also have coconut wax. So we're shifting over to using those for the people who are super specific about their candles and are very, very, very sensitive. So try those out at reedsoap.shop, and the link is pinned and in the description. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye. Consider becoming a patron. Or else. Or else I'll jump scare you.